has already begun to slow. 4 quiet places are waiting in a single line. Nothing will rush you from one to the next. The hours can blur without effort. This is one long stretch of calm. The spaces will change, but the pace will not. And the night will keep carrying you forward. Tonight, the powerhouse waits under the estuary wall. A sodium lamp burns above the intake door. Black water presses somewhere beyond the concrete. Nothing needs to be switched on now. Below the lamp, the service floor shines with old damp. A turbine note sits deep in the structure. No alarm cuts through it. Near the entry rail, yellow helmets hang from numbered hooks. Their shells catch narrow bars of light. No hand takes one down. A pair of rubber boots stands beside a grated drain. Salt marks ring the soles. No wet step returns there tonight. Along the first wall, control cabinets rise in a pale metal row. Small labels sit behind scratched plastic. No switch lifts there. At the nearest panel, green indicators form one quiet line. One amber square glows at the corner. It does not spread. Beyond the mesh gate, the generator hall opens under a high roof. Thick columns divide the long floor. No crew crosses the aisle. Red pipes run above the columns toward the surge room. Dark joints break the line at even gaps. Nothing shakes them loose. At the center bay, a turbine casing sits under a crane beam. Its curved shell shows old paint over cast steel. No wrench meets the bolts. A service ladder climbs the side toward a narrow platform. The rungs show silver wear at the middle. No boot rises there now. From the far chamber, a slow pulse comes through the concrete once. Not sharp, not sudden. It travels under the floor, then fades into the walls. The hall takes back its deeper hum. Near the rail trench, thick cables descend into black channels beneath steel covers. Numbers run along the edges in white paint. No panel stands open. A warning card hangs from one handle by a wire loop. High voltage. The red border has gone dull. At the west pane, the barrage road crosses above the estuary in a line of weak lamps. A truck lane runs empty between low barriers. No headlights turn there. Beyond the rail, a tide gate tower stands out in gray against the water. Its windows show no movement. No beacon changes at the top. On the maintenance bench, a log sheet lies beneath a brass clip. Times fill the columns in straight, dark entries. No new line appears. A torque wrench rests beside a folded rag and 2 sealed packets of bolts. Its jaw catches the overhead lamp, then dark again. At the lower stairs, chain links hang from a hoist beam near the pump room door. Each link shows a pale edge where grease has thinned. Nothing swings there. The pump room sign sits above the doorway in black letters on white enamel. One corner has chipped away. No hand touches the latch below it. Along the outer wall, condensation has dried in cloudy streaks near the floor line. The marks rise to different heights beside each bay. No cloth wipes them clear. A pressure wheel stands at knee height between two pipes. Its spokes look cold and dark. No grip closes around them tonight. Through the narrow safety glass, the sluice chamber shows only shadow and one hard reflection of water. The reflection trembles, then levels. Steel grating runs along the chamber edge in a straight, dark band. No lamp shines directly on it. No figure passes beyond the pane. At the overhead crane, a hook block stops above the turbine bay. Black and yellow paint circles the lower housing. No cable lowers from the beam. A red marker lamp sits at the far end of the crane rail. The light stays exact. It does not blink. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The powerhouse keeps its late arrangement beneath the barrage, cold and mechanical, while moonlit water moves against the gates outside. Near the stair post, a row of valve tags hangs from a board by thin chains. Blue, white, red. The printed numbers face outward in patient order. No tag is removed tonight. No chain clicks against the steel. At the far platform, a small kettle sits on a shelf beside 3 mugs. A ring of dried tea darkens one cup at the bottom. No steam rises there. The shelf looks down over the generator hall and the sealed pump room door. The amber square still glows at the edge of the panel. Morning has not reached the barrage yet. At the flood chart, blue contour lines cross the estuary in patient curves. Gate numbers sit in white boxes by the margins. No pencil marks a route. A radio charger glows on the shelf below with one tiny green point. The handset rests in its cradle. No voice returns through it tonight. At the end platform, a square window looks toward the spillway wall. Foam shows in the dark cut below and then disappears. No floodlight sweeps the gate face. The steel handrail under the pane carries a skin of cold damp. Drops gather at the lower bend. Nothing falls from them yet. At the tool board, chalk outlines wait behind 2 missing spanners. The hooks stand bare. No one replaces them. A black lunch tin sits under the bench by one boot print. Its latch stays shut. Still. Below that platform, the pump room door carries its white enamel sign. The chipped corner still shows at the edge. No latch moves there. At the threshold, a ribbed mat lies dark with old damp. Pale salt sits in the grooves. No boot crosses in. Inside the safety pane, the sluice chamber throws one hard reflection of water. The line trembles once, then levels. Steel grating runs along the drop in a straight black band. No lamp shines on it. No figure passes the pane. Near the hoist beam, chain links hang over the lower stair. Each one shows a pale edge where grease has thinned. Nothing swings there. The stair drops in 2 short flights toward the wall. Silver wear marks the treads. No shoulder descends tonight. At the valve board, blue, white, and red tags face the hall. Their numbers sit in patient order. No tag is removed. One chain twists by less than a turn near the corner hook, then hangs straight again. No hand sets it right. On the flood chart, blue contours cross the estuary in slow curves. Gate numbers sit in white boxes near the margins. No pencil marks a route. Below, the radio charger shows one tiny green point. The handset stays in its cradle. No voice returns through it now. At the square window, foam shows in the dark cut below, then disappears. The handrail under the pane keeps a skin of cold damp. Drops gather at the lower bend. They do not fall. They do not join. Farther down, the generator casing sits under the crane beam. Old paint crosses cast steel in dull layers. No wrench meets the bolts. The service ladder climbs toward a narrow platform. Its rungs show bright wear. No boot rises there now. From deeper in the structure, the same pulse comes once. Not sharp, not sudden. It travels under the floor, then fades into the walls. The turbine note fills the space again. At the cable trench, thick lines vanish under steel covers. White numbers continue along the edges. No panel stands open. The warning card hangs from the handle by its wire loop. High voltage. The red border looks older in this light. Near the end bay, condensation clouds the wall above the floor. The marks climb to different heights beside the columns. No cloth wipes them clear. A pressure wheel sits between 2 pipes at knee height. Its spokes look dark and cold. No grip closes there tonight. Beyond the mesh gate, the generator hall opens under the high roof. Columns divide the distance. No crew crosses the aisle. The overhead crane holds its hook block over the turbine bay. Black and yellow paint circles the housing. No cable lowers there. At the far platform, the kettle waits beside 3 mugs. One cup keeps its ring of dried tea at the bottom. No steam rises. The shelf looks over the hall and the amber square at the panel edge. The square keeps glowing. Nothing changes around it. At the outer wall, the west pane gives the barrage road above the estuary. Weak lamps line the barriers. No truck passes. Beyond the rail, the tide gate tower stands against the water. Its windows stay dark. No beacon changes at the top. At the first wall, the control cabinets continue in a pale metal row. Scratched plastic covers the labels. No switch lifts. Green indicators keep their quiet line. The amber square stays at the corner. It does not spread. At the west pane, the estuary lies black against the barrage. At the panel edge, the amber square keeps shining. At the threshold, the salt stays in the matte grooves. The powerhouse goes on under the wall. The gates stay shut. Morning has not reached the water yet. At the lowest rail, one bead of water hangs from a bolthead. It does not fall. The steel waits. Tonight the dome sits under black water. Blue light lies across the curved glass. The outer corridor stays locked above the tunnel. Nothing is about to open now. Beyond the rail, the viewing room waits below the tank. A pump hum moves through the floor. No public voice returns. Near the entrance arch, a bench stands under the wall map. Its metal legs catch pale strips of light. No bag rests there. A brochure rack waits beside the door. Clear pockets hold folded maps in soft rows. No copy lifts out. Along the inner ring, low lamps mark the curve of the dome. Their glow slides over the floor in cold bands. No shoe crosses them. A warning plate faces the glass near the first pane. The letters stay hard in white and red. No hand taps there. Above the dome, dark water presses against the outer shell. A slow shape passes high over the glass. Then only blue again. Farther up, a school of silver fish bends near the rock wall. The line narrows, then opens back out. At the center rail, a ray rests over pale sand beyond the dome. Its wings spread like a dark leaf in water. No rush follows it. One edge lifts by a fraction, then lowers again. The sand stays calm below. Near the service panel, green bars show on a narrow screen. Filter, flow, pressure. The labels sit in quiet rows beside their lights. No red joins them. No tone begins. At the side alcove, a cleaning cart stands under a pipe chase. Its shelves hold cloths, gloves, and sealed bottles. No wheel turns there. A folded net hangs from one hook near the handle. Its mesh looks silver for a second, then dark again. From the ceiling track, one settling note comes through the frame. Soft, then gone. The pump hum returns to the front of hearing. The dome keeps its blue. The room keeps its curve. At the left pane, rock shelves climb toward the top of the tank. White anemones open in the dim water. No diver light appears there. A striped fish leaves one shadow and enters another. The movement stays small. No chase begins. Near the right rail, a line of seats follows the wall under the emergency box. Their plastic backs hold a muted shine. No coat hangs there. A red ring buoy rests behind clear glass at the corner post. Its painted bands look dull under the lamp. No latch moves there. Along the outer wall, condensation condensation has dried in thin white traces near the floor. The marks rise and stop by the second support. No cloth wipes them clear. A narrow drain runs below the glass in a dark arc. No stream passes through it now. No drip gathers there. At the far hatch, a steel door stands under a black sign. Service access. Staff only. The handle keeps one pale edge from the lamp above. No key turns in it tonight. No seal breaks there. Beyond the dome, the upper tank fades into darker blue near the rock face. One shark moves high over the glass with a slow sideward tail. Then shadow closes behind it. The dome floor takes a weak pattern from the water above. Blue, gray, blue again. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The underwater dome keeps its late shape beneath the aquarium, cool and enclosed, while the upper galleries sleep beyond the locked doors. At the maintenance niche, spare masks hang from numbered pegs above a low shelf. Their clear fronts catch the room in faint curves. No strap swings there. A black logbook lies beside a capped marker on the shelf. Dates fill the visible page in neat blocks. No new line appears tonight. Near the upper seam, bolts circle the dome frame in patient order. Each head shows a tiny ring of pale salt. No wrench meets them. A thin cable run follows the curve toward the back wall. Its clips stay tight. Nothing pulls them free. On the observation rail, the metal top feels cold even in the blue light. A child's fingerprint mark shows near the second support. No sleeve wipes it clean. Below the rail, the floor arrows point toward the tunnel exit in faded white. No step follows them now. No queue forms there. At the rear glass, a long shadow crosses the outer water and disappears behind the rock. No eye shows. No turn breaks the dark. A cloud of tiny fish gathers where the shadow passed. The cluster pulls tight, then loosens again. By the emergency box, a small speaker grill sits above the glass front. No instruction comes from it. No chime sounds there. A hammer hangs by a short chain inside the case. Its red handle looks black in the blue light. Nothing moves it tonight. At the sill, one shell fragment rests by the seal strip. Its white edge catches the blue. No current reaches it. Near the map bench, a child seat booster waits by the wall in stacked blue plastic. The top edge shows a scratch in the lamp glow. No hand lifts it. At the final pane, a jellyfish drifts near the upper dark for one brief second. Then the bell turns pale and vanishes into the blue beyond the curve. Morning has not reached the glass above. Beyond that final pane, the blue water keeps folding over the dome. The jellyfish has gone back into the dark above the curve. No second glow appears there. At the service door, the black sign stays over the handle. Service access, staff only. The pale edge on the latch does not change. No key turns in it. No seal breaks there tonight. Along the outer wall, the dry white white traces still climb from the floor and stop by the second support. The marks look harder under the colder lamp. No cloth wipes them clear. A drain continues in its dark arc beneath the glass. The grate stays clean. No stream passes through now. Near the emergency box, the red ring buoy rests behind clear glass. Its white bands look dull in the blue room. No latch moves there. The hammer above it hangs from the short chain inside the case. Its handle stays dark. Nothing swings it free. At the observation rail, the child's fingerprint mark still shows near the second support. The print catches one weak line from the lamp, then fades again. Below it, the white floor arrows keep pointing toward the exit tunnel. No step follows them. No stroller wheel cuts across them now. Far above the dome, another slow body crosses near the rock face. Only the lower line shows this time. Then blue closes over it again. A cluster of small fish gathers in the space behind it. The shape tightens, then drifts apart in silver dust. Near the maintenance niche, the clear masks keep their soft, reflected curves. Their straps hang straight from the pegs. No hand reaches there. The black logbook stays by the capped marker on the shelf. Dates fill the open page. No fresh line joins them tonight. At the upper seam, bolts keep circling the dome frame in patient order. Pale salt rings each head. No wrench meets them. The cable run above them keeps to the curve toward the back wall. The clips stay tight. Nothing pulls them loose. On a bench by the wall map, the stacked blue booster seat waits in the shadow. The scratch on the top edge still catches the lamp. No hand lifts it. The brochure rack beside the bench keeps its folded maps in clear pockets. The top corners stay even. No copy leaves the row. At the left pane, the rock shelves fade into deeper blue toward the tank wall. One striped fish slips out from the lower shadow, then vanishes behind the stone again. The white anemones stay open where the shelf levels out. Their edges move by almost nothing. No current hardens there. From somewhere above the tunnel roof, a low creak passes through the frame. Not sharp, not long. The pump hum rises again under it. The dome takes back its quiet. The water goes on with its slow pressure. Near the service panel, the green bars keep their narrow line. Filter, flow, pressure. The labels stay clear beside the screen. No red joins them. No tone begins in the alcove. At the rear glass, a long shadow returns near the upper dark and bends away toward the rock. No eye shows. No mouth opens there. A scatter of tiny fish follows the empty water after it. The silver line narrows, then breaks apart again. At the center rail, the pale sand still lies beyond the dome in a smooth field. The ray has shifted by less than a body's width. One edge moves, then rests. The rail keeps its cold top under the blue light. No sleeve slides across it. No camera rises there now. Near the speaker grill above the emergency case, no instruction enters the room. The grill stays black. The bell shape of the jellyfish does not return. The upper galleries stay locked beyond the tunnel. The room keeps its blue hush. The glass keeps the water overhead. Morning has not reached the dome yet. High above the fjord, the glass cable station holds its quiet platform over the dark drop and the unseen water below. A pale roof light gathers on the steel frame. The cable runs out into cloud. Nothing boards tonight. Below the glass, the valley falls away at once. A motor note sleeps in the wall. No bell rings. Near the gate, folded blankets sit in a wire basket by the rail. Gray wool shows under the lamp. No hand takes one. A route map hangs behind clear plastic at the post. Red lines cross white peaks. No finger follows them now. Along the boarding edge, yellow strips cross the concrete in patient bars. Their color looks thin in the cold light. No boot steps down. A steel barrier stands closed beside the cabin door. The latch lies flat. Nothing lifts it free. Inside the cabin, curved seats face the glass on both sides. Dark fabric catches a low silver sheen. No coat lies there. A speaker grill sits above the doorway in a black oval. No announcement comes through it. No static breaks the air. Beyond the platform, the cable leaves the station and drops into open dark. The line disappears before any far tower can be seen. Only one red beacon hangs lower in the valley. Then cloud takes it. Then black again. Then the same dim point returns. At the operator desk, a row of switches waits below a steel plate. Brake, door, cabin light. The labels sit in white under the metal rim. No switch moves. No signal changes there. Near the rear wall, ski racks stand empty beside a boot scraper and a snow brush. Old melt marks have dried in pale fans below them. No fresh water reaches the floor. A goggles case rests on the bench near the racks. The zipper stands half open. Nothing slips from it. From somewhere under the platform, one relay gives a quiet click. Brief, then gone. The motor note comes forward again. The roof takes back its stillness. The station settles around it. At the side window, the fjord lies far below in a long black cut between mountain walls. A few harbor lights sit at the narrow shore. No wake reaches them. Farther down, a road bends beside the water in weak amber lamps. No late bus climbs the switchbacks. No snowcat moves on the ridge. On the service shelf, a maintenance log lies under a brass clip beside a capped marker. Dates fill the page in hard, neat rows. No new line appears. A flashlight rests by the margin with its strap looped over itself. The lens stays dark. Nothing wakes there tonight. Near the cabin door, the rubber threshold shows old salt in the grooves. White grains gather at the corners. No wet boot darkens them now. A broom leans beside the hinge post with its black bristles turned inward. The handle catches one strip of roof light. No hand reaches down for it. At the far pane, the platform rail follows the glass in a low arc. Steel posts rise at even gaps beneath the roof. No glove hangs there. Past the rail, the cliff falls away at once. Cloud drifts below the station in slow gray fields. The valley gives no bottom back. At the heater vent, warm air pushes from the grill in one steady thread. A loose ticket stub by the wall lifts by less than a breath, then lies flat again. The paper shows half a printed seat number and one blue line. No one picks it up. No draft carries it off. Along the glass roof, support beams cross overhead in dark angles. Their bolts make small circles above the lamps. Nothing shakes them. At the nearest seam, a thin crust of ice sits under the outer frame. The white line stays narrow. No drip falls there tonight. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The cable station keeps its late arrangement above the dark fjord, cold and suspended, while the empty line runs out into cloud below the ridge. Near the corner bench, a pair of lost gloves waits beside a thermos with a dented lid. One glove lies palm up. The other points toward the glass. A faded mountain crest clings to the thermos side. Its edge has started to peel. No hand smooths it down tonight. At the departure screen, the next car time glows in pale digits over black. The minutes do not hurry there. No crowd gathers below it. Near the wall speaker, a timetable chime button sits under a hinged cover. The cover stays down. No finger tests it. A small key label hangs from the hinge on a steel ring. The code has faded at one side. Nothing turns with it. At the west pane, a service tower stands lower on the slope beside the cable line. Its roof shows one band of old snow. No lamp burns there. A maintenance path cuts across the rock in pale switchbacks. The rail follows it in short black turns. No step climbs from below tonight. By the roof brace, one screw cap shows bright metal through the paint. The circle catches cold light, then dulls again. No drift starts there. Beyond that lower slope, the service tower stays by the cable line. One band of old snow lies on its roof. No lamp burns there. The maintenance path keeps its pale switchbacks across the rock. Black rail turns follow it down. No step climbs from below tonight. At the platform barrier, the latch still lies flat by the post. Yellow strips cross the concrete at the boarding edge. No boot steps down. The car waits with its door sealed against the rubber line. Dark seats face the glass. No bag rests there. Near the wall speaker, the timetable chime button sits under its hinged cover. The cover stays down. No finger tests. A small key label hangs from the hinge on a steel ring. The code has faded at one side. Nothing turns with it. At the departure screen, pale digits hold over black. Minutes wait in a row. No crowd gathers. The red beacon returns once through the cloud below. Then the valley takes it. Then dark again. Along the roof, support beams cross over the station in hard angles. Their bolts make dark circles above the lamps. Nothing shakes them. At one brace, bright metal shows through the paint on a screw cap. The circle catches cold light, then dulls again. Near the heater vent, warm air still moves in a narrow thread. The ticket stub by the wall lifts a little, then lies flat. Half a seat number still shows above the blue line. No one notices it. No brush takes it. Inside the cabin, the speaker grill stays black over the door. No announcement comes through it. No static breaks the air. Curved seats keep dim silver edges under the lamps. One window latch catches a sharper line, then softens again. Far below, harbor lights hold a small curve on shore. No wake reaches them. No mast crosses between them. The road by the fjord fades under weak amber lamps. No bus climbs the turns. No truck moves on the ridge. At the ski racks, the scraper waits beside the snow brush. Old melt marks stay pale below them. No fresh water reaches the floor. The goggles case stays half open on the bench. Its teeth make a dull silver arc. Nothing slips from inside. From under the platform, another relay clicks once. Soft. Gone. The motor note rises again from the wall. The roof keeps its stillness. The glass keeps the valley outside. At the side pane, cloud drifts below the station in slow gray layers. The fjord gives no full shape back. Only the beacon returns from deeper down. One red point. Then none. Then one again through the cloud break. No second light joins it there. At the operator desk, the white labels stay under the steel plate. Brake. Door. Cabin light. The switch row stays dark beneath them. No finger moves there. No signal changes. Near the service shelf, the maintenance log keeps its page under the brass clip. Dates fill the rows in tight black strokes. No new line joins them. The flashlight rests by the marker with its strap looped tight. Its lens stays dark. Nothing wakes there now. At the far pane, steel posts rise under the roof in even gaps. No glove hangs there. No sleeve brushes past. Outside the rail, the cliff drops away at once. The cable leaves the station. Cloud takes it almost immediately. At the rear wall, the lost gloves still lie beside the dented thermos. One palm faces up. One finger points toward the window. The faded mountain crest still clings to the metal side. Its edge has peeled. No hand smooths it. At the west pane, the service tower keeps its dim shape lower on the slope. The path below stays empty. The rail bends into dark. The station stays above the fjord. The cabin stays at the platform. Morning has not reached the water yet. No light answers there. High above the harbor mouth, the lock station keeps its glass room over the black water. A low lamp burns beside the control desk. Steel rails cross the lock bridge outside. Nothing is being opened now. Below the windows, dark water presses between the walls. A pump note sits under the floor. No horn rises. Near the entry door, orange life jackets hang from numbered hooks. Their straps fall in loose shapes against the wall. No arm enters them. A rubber mat lies under a cabinet of flares and torches. Pale salt rests in the grooves. No wet boot crosses there tonight. Along the riverside, tall panes face the basin and the lower gatehouse. Old rain marks have dried in pale rings near the corners. No cloth wipes them clear. A red signal light stands over the far gate in one exact point. Its color holds over the black water. No green joins it. At the center desk, a lock log lies open under a square brass weight. Times and vessel names fill the page in dark, neat lines. No new entry appears. A radio handset rests beside the margin on a curled cord. Its speaker faces the chair. No voice enters it now. Beyond the lower rail, the basin holds black water between high concrete walls. The current bends in a slow, dark curl near the sluice mouth. No wake cuts through it. Farther out, harbor lamps sit in a broken row by the warehouses. One line reaches the water, then breaks apart again. At the control panel, a row of switches waits below a steel plate. Gate, valve, bridge. The labels sit in white under the metal rim. No switch moves. No alarm starts there. Near the wall clock, a kettle waits on a narrow shelf beside two mugs. A ring of dried tea darkens one cup at the bottom. No steam rises there. A spoon lies across a folded paper towel by the kettle base. Its handle keeps one thin line of light. Nothing lifts it away. From the machinery room below, one relay gives a quiet click. Brief, then gone. The pump note comes forward again. The desk lamp keeps its pale circle. The room takes back its quiet. At the far pane, the harbor road curves toward a customs shed and a line of silent storage tanks. Weak sodium lamps rest over the asphalt. No truck turns there. A barrier arm lies across the service lane at the near gate. Red stripes run from hinge to tip. No wheel reaches it tonight. Along the inner wall, framed charts show tide heights and lock clearances in blue blocks and black numbers. One corner of the nearest sheet has curled beneath the glass. The pin still holds. A brass keyring hangs from a hook below the frame. 3 tags show stamped codes. No hand lifts them. At the stair rail, yellow paint has worn away where older hands once gripped in storms. Bare metal shows through in a narrow shine. No palm closes there now. Below the rail, the stair drops toward the valve floor through a square cut in the deck. Warm air rises from the shaft in thin breaths. No boot goes down. Near the winch diagram, a grease pencil lies beside a ruler and a folded inspection card. Boxes fill the card from top to bottom in dark ticks. No new mark joins them. A pair of gloves waits under the desk on a low shelf. The fingertips have gone darker than the cuffs. Nothing reaches for them tonight. Outside the upstream pane, the lock bridge stands over the basin with its grating black against the lamp glow. A chain hangs from the lifting arm by the side frame. No drum turns there. The gate below stays shut between wet concrete walls. White depth marks climb toward the catwalk. No tide reaches them now. Near the shelf lamp, a coil of spare signal wire rests in a shallow box. Its dark loops cross in patient circles. No end is drawn free. A folded rain chart waits beneath the wire beside a stamped tin whistle. Blue lines mark older rises and falls. No pencil follows them tonight. In the far corner, binoculars sit by the sill. The lenses face the harbor mouth. No hand lifts them. A note card lies beneath one barrel with a vessel code in block letters. The ink has bled at one corner. No second code joins it now. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The lock station keeps its late arrangement above the sleeping harbor, bright and watchful, while the shut gates hold the black water below. At the western post, a fog bell switch sits under a red cover near the sill. Its hinge shows a skin of rust. No hand flips it up. Beside it, a paper cup waits by the glass with one crease near the rim. The cup leans toward the basin. Nothing tips it over tonight. At the lower pane, salt has dried where spray once reached in storm weather. The marks sit white against the dark beyond. No vessel passes there now. The radio stays quiet on the desk. The red signal keeps burning above the far gate. Morning has not reached the harbor yet. At the side shelf, chalk sticks wait in a cracked cup. White, blue, red. No hand reaches there now. Below that red signal, the far gate stays shut between wet walls. The basin holds its black water. No chain moves there. At the near barrier arm, the stripes still cross the service lane. The hinge stays fixed to the post. No wheel reaches it tonight. Far under the tower, the valve floor waits around the sluice controls. Round wheels rise from short stems by the wall. No grip closes there. A drain cut runs down the center of the concrete. Its metal slots keep a thin, wet line. No stream rushes through them now. Near the first wheel, a painted depth rod climbs the wall in white blocks. The numbers grow smaller in the lower light. No tide reaches them. A coil of hose rests under the catwalk beside a square of folded canvas. The outer loop shows one bar of lamp glow. Nothing is pulled free. At the winch housing, black grease darkens the bolts around the casing seam. Old tool marks show in a ring near the lower plate. No wrench meets them now. A tag hangs from one handle on a short wire loop. Lock side valve. The paper has gone soft at the corner. Through the narrow pane, the underside of the bridge crosses above the basin in flat steel bands. One red beacon glows through the truss. Then the angle takes it away. Below that frame, the water folds around the pier and slips out of view. No wake cuts through it. No prop wash reaches the wall. Back in the tower room, the lock log still lies under its brass weight. Vessel names keep their careful line. No page turns there. The radio handset stays by the margin on its curled cord. Its speaker faces the chair. No voice returns through it tonight. Near the lower rail, inspection lamps hang from hooks by a steel post. Their cages throw wire shadows on the wall. No bulb wakes inside them. A tool chest rests below with its top drawer left open by a hand's width. Sockets and keys lie in fitted rows. No piece is lifted free. At the catwalk gate, a chain barrier closes the path to the bridge side. Black paint has worn from the center links. No clasp opens there. A warning plate reads, "Stand clear when gates in motion." The letters stay hard on yellow enamel. No second notice hangs beneath it. At the far wall, tide stains show in pale bands above the floor the sill bolts by less than a span. No new water reaches it. A ladder fixed to the wall drops toward a lower ledge beside the sluice. Its lowest rung stays in shadow. No boot finds it tonight. Near the service board, spare fuses stand in white clips behind a clear shield. Tiny numbers line the strip. No cap is turned. A maintenance tag hangs from the corner screw on bent wire. The paper has curled at one edge. No date is added there tonight. At the sill, old salt still clings to the lower pane where spray once reached. The white traces gather near the frame. No cloth wipes them clean. Beyond the glass, the basin keeps moving under the bridge. One red beacon still glows on the truss. The channel stays empty below it. Along the inner wall, the chart frame still holds tide heights and clearances in blue blocks. One pinned corner stays curled under the glass. The pin still holds. Below it, the brass keyring hangs from its hook. 3 stamped tags show. No hand lifts them tonight. Near the west pane, the harbor road keeps its weak line of lamps by the storage tanks. No truck turns through them. No late van crosses the customs yard. Farther off, the outer harbor gives one small light at the mouth, and then none. The water beyond the gates stays black. The wall of the basin gives nothing back. At the panel edge, the red signal keeps burning above the far gate. At the deck cut, warm air still rises from the valve floor. At the sill, salt keeps its white traces by the glass. The tower stays bright over the lock. The gates stay shut below it. Morning has not reached the harbor yet. The lower walls keep their damp cold. No echo stays there now.